Okay, we need to talk about this because, wow, this storyline may be setting up one of the biggest emotional and psychological cliffhangers Beyond the Gates has given us in weeks. Because what looked like a possible romantic reconnection between Bill and Dani, I don't think that's a love story at all. I think it's a warning, and Naomi may be the only one seeing the whole board. Let's break this down, because the deeper I looked at it, the crazier it got. So after those surprisingly tender moments between Bill and Dani, I could feel the writers baiting fans into believing an old flame might reignite. You know how soaps do this one nostalgic look, one vulnerable conversation, and suddenly viewers start whispering reunion. But hold on, I'm not buying the fantasy. And Naomi, she isn't buying it either. She sees something Bill refuses to admit, that he may be confusing guilt with love. And that is dangerous. Because let's be real for a second. Bill didn't just hurt Dani. He detonated their family. His betrayal with Hayley wasn't some random mistake. It was trauma. It reshaped everybody, especially Dani. So when Naomi senses Bill softening toward his ex-wife, she doesn't react like a jealous daughter trying to protect old wounds. No, she reacts like someone who sees a disaster coming. And honestly, I think she's right. That confrontation between Naomi and Bill could be legendary soap material. I can hear Naomi now practically telling him, "Don't call regret love." That line alone chills. Because she forces Bill to face something brutal. Maybe Dani isn't moving toward him at all. Maybe she's simply reclaiming peace. And this is where I need to defend Dani for a minute, because I think some fans are reading her wrong. A lot of viewers may think Dani secretly wants Bill back. I disagree completely. I think Dani has evolved past Bill. And Andre may be the emotional anchor Dani has needed all along. That matters. Because if Dani has found something real with Andre, then Bill imagining some romantic second chance could become a tragic delusion. And that's where Naomi explodes. Not because she hates reconciliation, because she sees it as a mistake, a catastrophic one. And Bill, of course he lashes out. Classic Bill. He accuses Naomi of judging him, of interfering, of crossing boundaries. But here's the kicker. People get angry when the truth hits too close. And I think Naomi shakes him badly, because once doubt gets into Bill's head, it starts spreading. Now let's get into what makes this storyline truly insane, Hayley. Because I have a theory, and tell me if I'm wrong. What if Naomi's warning about Dani is only the surface issue? What if she's actually trying to save Bill from Hayley? That changes everything. Because suddenly, this isn't about romance. It's about survival. We've seen hints Hayley may be hiding something huge. Manipulating power, financial secrets. Those mysterious payments tied to Lynette before she vanished? Come on, that is not random. Soap writers do not drop breadcrumbs like that for nothing. And if Naomi discovers Hayley has been burying debt, covering tracks, maybe even tied to Lynette's disappearance, that's explosive. But wait, Randy, this part blew my mind. If Bill starts quietly investigating and discovers Hayley meeting Randy in secret, that could be the moment the entire marriage cracks. Because who is Randy really in this puzzle? An accomplice? A blackmailer? A ghost from Hayley's past ready to destroy her? Or even crazier, part of a bigger setup against Bill? Would that be wild or what? And suddenly, Naomi doesn't look like an overprotective daughter. She looks like the only person protecting her father. Again, and this is where the history matters. Because this isn't the first time Naomi has stepped in when Bill was heading toward danger. That pattern matters. Soap history matters. Legacy patterns matter. This could be the writers positioning Naomi as the one person who always sees the truth first. And I love that. Because let's be honest, Naomi has often been underestimated. But what if she becomes the hero of this arc? What if she accidentally blows open a murder plot against Bill? Yes, I said murder plot. Because I cannot ignore the possibility Hayley may be far darker than she appears. There have been too many suspicious signals, too many manipulations, too much control. And if Naomi stumbles into evidence Hayley planned to eliminate Bill, that is full soap opera insanity, the kind we live for. But now, here's where things get even more layered. Dani. Because what if Dani isn't moving back toward Bill? What if she's quietly protecting him from Hayley? Oh, that would be such a twist. Imagine this irony. The woman Bill destroyed may now be trying to save him. That is classic soap poetry. But, and this is crucial, protection does not equal reconciliation. And I need the writers to keep that distinction clear. Because Dani giving Bill another romantic chance, I don't believe it. Not after everything. Not after that pain. And honestly, I don't want it. Yeah, I said it. Some fans may root for Bill and Dani forever. I'm not one of them. I think putting Dani back with Bill would undo too much growth. Andre represents healing. Bill represents history. Huge difference. And Dani knows it. I actually think if Bill mistakes Dani's concern for renewed love, he could humiliate himself. Maybe even lose both women. Imagine that cliffhanger. Bill leaves Hayley, tries to return to Dani. Dani shuts the door in his face. Then Naomi reveals Hayley has been plotting behind his back. Boom. End episode. Tell me that wouldn't be iconic. And what if Naomi's warning ends up doing something unexpected? Not pushing Bill toward Dani, but pushing him into finally seeing himself. That may be the real story. Redemption or Rein. Because Bill's psychology here is fascinating. Is he seeking Dani because he loves her? Or because Hayley is slipping out of control? Those are not the same thing. And soaps thrive on that difference. I actually think Bill may be having an identity crisis disguised as romance. That's why Naomi's words hit so hard. She isn't attacking him. She's exposing him. Huge difference. And wow, if she turns out right about Hayley and Randy, Naomi becomes the moral center of this whole arc. Now, let me throw out one more theory. Crazy theory, but hear me out. What if Hayley finds out Naomi suspects her and starts targeting Naomi next? Oh, now we have war, because Naomi versus Hayley could become explosive. And if Dani steps in to protect Naomi, suddenly former rivals become allies against a common enemy. That is soap gold, pure gold. And honestly, I think we may be heading there, because this doesn't feel like a love triangle anymore. It feels like a trap being built. Bill thinks he's choosing between women, but he may actually be choosing between truth and destruction. Massive difference. And Naomi may be the one screaming the answer while nobody listens, until it's too late. That's what makes this story so compelling. It's emotional, psychological, and dangerous. Exactly what great soap should be. But I want to know what you think. Is Naomi right to warn Bill away from Dani? Is Hayley secretly setting a bigger trap? Can Bill be saved? And big question. Do you think Dani would ever truly take Bill back? Or is Andre her real future? Because I'll say it right now. I think Naomi just fired the first shot in a storyline that could bring down everything. And if Randy is really part of Hayley's secret, oh, we haven't even seen the real plot twist yet. Not even close.